Hello guys, this is Murtaza from Insta Accountant. So in this video, I'm gonna be talking about or explaining a little bit this Uber tax summary that every Uber driver gets at the end of the year. I have made video on explaining Uber tax summary back in 2019 and 20 as well. So those videos are quite detailed. At that time, a lot of Uber drivers, even accountants, were confused how to handle that information. So that was quite a detailed video. This video is going to be a slightly shorter video to the point. All right. This guy, John Smith, he drove Uber rides throughout the year in 2023. At the end of the year, he got a tax summary from Uber, which includes all the financial transactions between John and Uber and his passengers. All of them kind of summarized into one report, which is tax summary. John also gets monthly summaries as well, which he can find on his driver portal. But this is the one he's gonna be using for his tax return. All these numbers they have to be kind of massaged and a few calculations need to be done before amount starts hopping into the tax return. All right, so it has four sections, and this is for John who just did Uber rides passenger, right? It doesn't include Uber Eats. I'll 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 do Uber Eats as well. I'll explain that tax summary as well. But Uber rides is slightly more complicated when we compare it with the Uber rides driver's tax summary. Let's begin. So first section is the gross fare breakdown. This section is going to be talking about the fares that they collected. So fare is the amount that the driver will collect from the passenger for the service provided, which is picking up the passenger from point A and dropping off at point B. So for that service, the driver charges a fare, and this amount is collected by Uber. So basically, we need to understand this concept that there are a few parties within this transaction. One is the driver, which is let's say John, actually John. The other is the passenger, and the third party involved is Uber. So John is a contractor who's a self-employed who is working as a driver, picking up people from one point and dropping off at other, or sharing his ride with them. And Uber is the company or is the app which is providing this service to John. Okay, and also Uber is the app which is helping a passenger find John to get service from him. Basic transaction is between John and the passenger, and Uber is helping facilitating that transaction or that transaction operationally and financially, and Uber takes some kind of a fees for that service. So the first is Uber gross rides fare. Again, John Smith, he made $55,000 during 2023 for all the rides that he provided or all the to his passengers. This is the amount that he collected. Now, it does not mean that this is his earning. Keep that in mind. And this amount does not go into your tax return. The tax return earnings are going to be calculated using these amounts, but this is not that amount. The second thing is green surcharge. This is a surcharge that is collected by Uber on behalf of the driver. Booking fee. This is a fee that Uber charges. The driver, basically Uber is providing a passenger. Let's say a passenger is searching for a ride from point A to B. So they are gonna use their app, and Uber is gonna search a driver. Let's say John and connect John with the passenger to provide that service. For this service to the passenger and the driver, Uber is charging a booking fee. Okay, so basically, the passenger will be charged a booking fee by Uber on behalf of the driver, and then Uber will take this money back from the driver. Regulatory recovery fees. So these are the every jurisdiction is different. Ontario is different, Quebec is different, USA is different, Canada is different, UK is different, right? So every city, every jurisdiction could have its own regulatory fee. Accordingly, this is a regulatory fee, which Uber charges again on behalf of the driver from the passenger. Airport fee. So airport fee again, airports all around the world, wherever each airport may have different laws or rules or bylaws for Uber drivers, right? So let's say in Toronto, at Pearson Airport, so Uber and Pearson Airport have some kind of an agreement in which Uber has to pay certain amount of fee to the airport administration for letting Uber's driver pick up and drop passengers at the airport. Uber is going to collect this amount from the passenger. So the passenger is going to pay it on behalf of the driver. Uber will collect it and give it to the driver. Split fare, if the passenger is using the split fare function or feature in the app, it has a certain transaction charges or fees. Uber is going to take that fee from the passenger. Miscellaneous could be, let's say somebody made a mess in John's car, and John reported that to Uber, and Uber said, okay, yeah, we're gonna charge passenger extra $50 for and give it to you as cleaning, you know, charges. These are those amounts. Tolls, if let's say John, the driver used a highway or a place where he had to pay some tolls. So he's gonna take that amount from the passenger, which again is gonna be facilitated by Uber, which is gonna receive that amount from the passenger on driver's behalf and pay it to the driver. Tips, very simple, are the amounts paid by the customers to the drivers. Uber again collects it and gives it to the drivers. GST HST you collected from riders, very important amount, this $9,000 or this amount. This is the amount of GST or HST that a rideshare driver collected from his passengers. This is a liability. It's not his income. As per the law, a rideshare driver is required to collect HST in Ontario, I'm talking, and also other jurisdictions as well. But let's say in Ontario, he's required to collect HST on every ride or he provides to every passenger. This is the HST that he collected throughout the year on all the rides he provided in 2023, 9,144. In technical language, we call this output tax as a count. Driver has to be registered with HST for doing rideshare, which means that he has to file his HST return as well. Monthly, quarterly, annual, that's a different thing, but for sure he has to file HST return. So that is why you can watch my other videos for details on HST and all those. But yes, the driver is required to file two types of tax returns. One is the income tax return and the other one is the HST return. So this total amount, it doesn't mean much, but it's just a total of these things. It doesn't mean that this is the amount of your earnings. No, it is no, not at all. Don't use this amount as your earnings. Your earnings is you have to massage certain amounts in this tax summary to reach the amount which goes into your tax return T2125 form. Your GST HST number, so I just erased this number a little bit. So this is the number, your HST number, which you provided to Uber when you started driving Uber. So this is mandatory now. You have to get registered for Uber. You have to have HST number to do rideshare. All right, so let's jump to the second section, which is Uber rides fees breakdown. Okay, so now over here in this section, Uber is going to tell you about their fees, the fees that they charge. Okay. So number one, service fee. So this is a percentage. So when the driver sign ups for Uber as a driver, the driver agrees that I am gonna pay you, let's say, 25% of my fare to Uber. So this is Uber is gonna deduct this amount from your earnings. And obviously, this is an expense for you. As a driver, you're going to put that amount in your tax return as an expense. Other amounts: booking, regulatory, airport, green, and split fare fees. You're adding all these amounts, and where do you get all these amounts? Over here, from here. So 14,987 is the amounts, other amounts, which are basically the fees, like which do not come to the driver, but they are charged by Uber from the passengers on behalf of the driver, but Uber do not pass these on to the driver, rather keeps them with itself. Okay, so again, these are the deductions. Okay, you wanna these are not your income. Fee discounts, so there could be some discount on the fees that Uber provides. So this is the so for example, Uber fees was $1,000 and the discount was $100. It means the net fee that Uber is going to charge you, or Uber charge you, was $900. GST HST you paid to Uber. Again, this is an important amount, which is very useful for your HST return filing. So this is the amount that you paid to Uber for Uber's services. Or let's put it this way. So because the driver is the one who is providing revenue to Uber. So that means Uber is charging HST on its services as well to the driver, right? So this is the HST that the driver is paying to Uber, which means technically we call it input tax credits, right? So which means that this is the HST that you collected and this is the HST that you paid. So you collected from HST from the passengers, and this is just the amount of HST that you paid to Uber, right? So this is going to be deducted from this amount when you do the HST. I have made other videos. There is more videos on this topic, how to file your HST return on my channel. You can go there and watch those in detail. Total amount, this amount is not going to be used in your tax return or anywhere. But yes, individual amounts, yes, they are going to be used. Again, the same Uber GST registration number, the same number that you had above. This is the number that is here as well. Other income breakdown. So now there are some other amounts as well. For example, miscellaneous referral promotions. If you earn some referral or promotion or any miscellaneous income that you got, or somebody forgot their phone in your car and you had to go back to give that phone to them and you charge for that. So these are all those amounts. Referrals. Some drivers started because driving Uber, and you gave the referral, Uber gave you a referral fee. So all these are those amounts. And this is the HST that you collected on any of the miscellaneous or other incomes that you made. So this is another total. These are definitely going to be a part of your earnings. The last section is basically, I'm just going to pull this PDF here. So the last part is other potential deductions. In this part, you will see there is two type of mileage kilometers. One is on-trip mileage. The other one is online mileage. So online mileage is the mileage that when your app was on and you were driving, doesn't matter if you had some passenger in your back seat or no. You had some fare or no, but your app was on. The on-trip mileage is the exact mileage of picking a passenger from point A and dropping off at point B. So this is the exact mileage when you start a ride and finish a ride, right? So add those up. So John drove 143 kilometers, which is pick up until drop off. But he had the app on while he was driving was 42,513. This is the kilometers he was just driving around. He got the order. He was at a gas station. He drove from the gas station 3 kilometers to pick up the passenger. This is that kind of mileage. Okay. Hope that this video helps you. Again, we have a very detailed video in the past as well on the same topic, but I think this video is going to help you. Please subscribe and like to our channel and like this video if you find it useful.